There's this really interesting thing that happens the longer somebody walks with the Lord, where the longer they walk with Jesus, there's this weird thing that happens where the better you are, but the worse you feel. You know, it's actually a weird thing. I think John MacArthur, an old dead pastor, said that, and it's interesting. If you watch the life of the Apostle Paul, a lot of people miss this because the books of the Bible are not in chronological order of like when they were written. They're in a different sequence. But if you line all the books up in the order that the Apostle Paul wrote them, he starts by referring to himself as one of the apostles. And then he goes a little farther and he says, well, I'm the least of the apostles. And then he goes a little farther and he says, he calls himself the least of all the saints. And then in, I think, the last letter he ever wrote, he says, this saying is trustworthy and deserving of full acceptance, that Jesus Christ died for sinners, of whom I am the foremost. So it's almost like a reverse testimony. It's almost like he started feeling like he was. And the reason for that is the longer you walk with the Lord, you sort of know him a little better. And the more you know him, the more of his perfection you see and the more of your imperfection you see. And you feel that gap. So what happens is that gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Here's what I should be and here's what I am. And honestly, the longer you live some life, you sin some more sins. So it's like the gap gets bigger and bigger.